We're back with another episode.
This episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler is sponsored by MyApothecary.com. My Apothecary is the premier online destination for hemp-derived CBD that will help you curate a wealthy lifestyle. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler podcast series are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent any specific employer, organization, committee, or other group or individual. The primary purpose of this podcast series is to educate and inform. This podcast series does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. We are here, back at it again. Another day, another week.
Another day, another dollar.
Pretty much. How was your week this past week?
I'm not meant to work in the American capitalist society.
I agree. I'm not either.
It's just it ain't right. It doesn't sit right with my soul. I'm not. It's not for me. And I had to work the weekend. You were there.
I was gonna say, yeah, me too.
It just fucking sucks.
Yeah, I just feel like working is a trap. I don't know who made this idea that working every day is a bright idea.
It's the everyday for me. It's the 8 hours every day.
Yeah. If I could just work like Tuesday through Thursday for 4 hours a day from like 10 to 2, I would do that.
I agree.
I would even do 7 to 11.
Like, I don't want to feel like an unproductive piece of shit, you know? Like,
I mean, I'm okay with that.
I want to be out there helping the world, getting my feet wet, feeling like I'm adding something, and then I want to promptly dip the fuck out.
Yeah, no, I don't really care to.
It's not that for okay.
No.
So yeah, I will say that the week was fine. Other than that, I worked every single day.
Yeah, me too. And I don't get a day off until Friday of next week.
Oh, you're working all the way through?
Yeah, because I took off apparently the wrong day, which I didn't realize. And I'm like, I never can get off on a Friday because they never let us off on Fridays because they're like, oh, it's like our busiest day.
Everyone takes off on Friday. So it's weird that y'all are stopped on Friday.
Exactly. So they're like, oh, we would actually prefer if you not take off Friday.
I asked for Friday because I was like, I'm just going to work it all the way through.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not staffed on Friday. So I had to take a Tuesday. So thankfully, I only have to work till Monday. I could get a break Tuesday and then I'm back at it.
Yeah, working the weekend is for the birds. And even as soon as you come to work, all the nurses are like, what are you doing here on the weekend?
Wow, look at everybody here on the weekend.
The same thing you're doing, stupidity. Freaking working. Yeah, it's annoying, but yeah. I mean, to say the least, it's fine, whatever.
At least we're making money.
I mean, that is the goal. That's the only goal. Like, people are like, oh, don't you just love helping people? Excuse me? What are you talking about? Exactly.
And I feel good about the money I make, I guess.
Right. Exactly. So, no, we're not playing no kind of reindeer games. All right. Anything else you need to talk about before we get started into it?
No, I'll just vent as we go.
Okay, cool beans. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So we got to give props to our girl, Simone Biles.
Where's our air horn?
No. I don't think I added it to the thingy.
Okay, never mind.
I gotta add it to the board. I haven't added it to the board just yet. So Simone Biles actually has won her 7th world championship as a gymnast and has been officially declared the most like well-rounded medalistic gymnast or athlete, female athlete.
So difference between world championship and the Olympics, go.
It's the world.
Okay, I think so is the Olympics.
I really think the World Championships is really just the United States. They're just calling it the world. It's kind of like indoor like track and field championships or whatever, and then the Olympics. But the Olympics is like all the countries, like the universe, and then the world is just the world. Okay, it's the same thing.
Congrats to her. I know nothing about gymnastics other than I watched Stick It like 75 times. But
Stick It? Who's in Stick It?
You never seen Stick It?
No. Who's in Stick It? Stick it.
I mean,
bop it.
No.
Okay.
No one of like, I couldn't be like this actress and you'd be like, oh, I know exactly who it is. It's just like, it's a good gymnast movie. Oh, she like sticks it to the man. She's a gymnast and she's good, but she keeps rebelling for some reason. And then you figure out why. And then she gets kicked out of her gym and has to go to this other gym. And he brings these girls together and it's good. You should watch it.
Okay, so let me just give this disclaimer. So yesterday or last night rather, I'm sitting at home watching this movie that we're going to talk about later on.
I want to play the fucking VN that I received. I was at dinner with my friends, right? I had a friend come into town.
Wait, were you at dinner when you played that?
I was walking into dinner when I played it, and I was like, this lady is on drugs.
My bad.
Y'all listen to this.
I am never taking your advice on watching another movie. I just wasted an hour and 21 minutes looking at that goddamn movie Awake for the ending to be fucking stupid. Never taking your suggestions ever again.
I've never heard of that movie. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Read the rest of what I text. We'll put a screenshot on the our Instagram too.
Yeah, look here. You can see.
Yeah.
She was just like, I thought you told me it was an apocalyptic movie to watch. I was like, nah, bitch. I told you about Sweet Tooth, which I did. She's like, oh, my bad. Sorry. Disregard my previous message. Drugs.
And at the very end, what did I say? I said, I would like to rescind my hostility.
You did say that. You did.
Yeah.
She said, well, I would like to rescind my hostility associated with my original message.
Yes.
That's what I fucking thought.
Very true. I was like, somebody told me about that goddamn movie, and I thought it was
You probably saw it on TikTok.
I probably did. Who knows? I see everything on TikTok. It's sad. All right. So, yeah. So, shouts out to Simone Biles. We're so happy for her that she has done such an amazing job. And, yeah, cool beans. All right. So also too in the news, we had a situation where this parent invited all of his daughter's classmates except for this one little boy who apparently bullies his daughter.
Good.
And so the school got upset and was just like, yeah, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, yes, I can.
Everybody?
No, we're not. What's with this inclusivity?
See, I went to private school where you could do what you want, and you just invited who you wanted. Caused a lot of drama. But also, if you're bullying my kid, why the fuck?
But that's what I'm saying. Why would I invite you to my home and traumatize my daughter on her special day when she's trying to enjoy her birthday? Like that's not what we're doing.
This? Put your kid in therapy and chill on mine. How about that?
Seriously, I just thought that was really dumb.
Why did this make it to the news?
I have no clue. Okay. Probably because the dad spoke out. Maybe because the dad spoke out. I mean, I would have. But yeah, he was shamed for that, and I'm just like, what? No, I'm not bringing a bully to my daughter's house
unless you want to get your ass whopped.
Exactly, because that's what's really about to happen. Like truly, honestly.
Dude, can you imagine your kid being like, Mom, this one kid always fucking makes fun of me and hits me and is bullying me, and you're like, yeah, sorry, they're coming over for your birthday.
Timmy's coming over, so you need to just get it together. We can't exclude him.
Just be nice.
No. Punch that kid in the face. Oh no, I'll invite him to the house. All right.
We just went through a pandemic. No one's coming over that's not invited.
Yeah, no, definitely not. All right. Also in the news, so there's been this issue that has happened. Stop. I can hear that. All right. Woo. There's been this situation in the news lately that happened actually with the hospital Houston Methodist. And let me bring up the article real quick.
Here's my thing about that.
Wait, let me tell the people first about it.
Okay, you tell them.
So basically what happened is there was a group of about 120 employees at Houston Methodist Hospital in Houston, Texas. And I thought Kawinda worked there, but she doesn't at another hospital.
We still don't know where that bitch works.
I know. We just know she no longer works with us. You loser.
She works at any hospital in Houston.
Yeah, very true. So apparently they had a suit that was against the hospital because the hospital was trying to force the vaccine on their employees and saying that if you are not vaccinated, you cannot work here. You have to show proof that you're vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure what kind of exclusion criteria they had, especially for people who may be allergic to eggs or allergic to vaccines and stuff like that. But apparently there were 120 employees that went after the hospital for this class action suit. So basically the hospital ended up asking that they take it to the federal court, and a judge actually dismissed the suit against Houston Methodist over the requirement, and they called the judge, Judge Lynn Hughes, actually called the lawsuit frivolous.
Frivolous.
And they had a June 7th deadline to get the vaccine.
I don't think it's frivolous if we're all like, there's this vaccine that keeps potentially hurting people, and things keep coming out about it where,
Yeah.
What just came out about the vaccine?
So the CDC actually ruled that, the CDC was set to hold an emergency meeting following basically the increased cases of heart inflammation in those who received the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines.
Okay, yeah. So what you're telling me is I have to get this vaccine that could potentially, though it probably won't number-wise, statistically, whatever.
Yeah.
But could, make me stroke out, give me a clot.
Kill me.
Kill me.
Yeah. as a result of other things, not
but
the actual
I
vaccine
have
killing
to
you.
for my job.
Right.
What, can we just sign a waiver like everything else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But my thing is too, I mean, I get it from the federal standpoint that, you know, these are private jobs, you know, these are private institutions and they are governed, but they can govern themselves according to how they want to govern themselves. But then also too, on the backside, you know, even with the flu vaccine, you know, we weren't required to get the flu vaccine. Like our hospital basically said, if you choose not to get the flu vaccine, you can opt out. It's perfectly fine, but you will have to wear a mask during flu season in clinical areas. Obviously, you have to respect people who, again, are allergic to eggs, allergic to vaccines, those who have had a history of Guillain-Barré, things like that.
Were you going to say Guillain-Barré?
I was going to say Guillain-Barré. Don't judge me. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worthwhile that I don't think it's fair for you to require your staff to get something.
I think they were saying it was experimental, right?
Yeah, that was their argument, was that it was not FDA approved. I know my fan is just going crazy right now. That it was not FDA approved and that it also was experimental. I feel like a lot of vaccines, honestly, are not FDA approved.
Yeah.
So
that's insane to me.
And the FDA is paid off anyway, allegedly, so we won't get sued by the podcast. But yeah, you can, if you got enough money, you can get FDA approved.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Allegedly.
Yeah. That is, I really did think that they were going to have a case with that one.
I did too. So apparently they're trying to take it to federal court. And so they're asking, I guess the hospital's asking to take it to federal court.
Take it to the head.
What?
Yeah. No. Don't think about it. No. Chris Brown?
Yeah.
No.
Nah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically what's been happening with that. So, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of tough. I think if our hospital did that, I don't know if I would continue to work there. I don't know.
I have the vaccine, so they got me, but I would fight it.
They got you.
I would fight it in the name of everyone else who doesn't want to be vaccinated.
Yeah, but then the thing is too, that same hospital actually a few months ago was offering $500 to all of their employees if they got vaccinated as an incentive. But I think
maybe this is what they were trying to avoid. There was probably already unrest,
right? And
they were like, "All right, bitches, we'll give you $500." I would do a lot for $500. I would inject myself. I did it for free. I would do it.
You really did. Did they even give you a snack after you got your vaccine?
I took 2 snacks. I was like, for my life, I'm taking 2 drinks and 2 snacks.
That's
bitch.
Right. You're gonna give me a Rice Krispie treat, bitch.
They did. But
yeah,
I would assume that's why.
Yeah. So basically, well, here's the thing. The hospital basically made good on its threat that there were 178 employees, I guess, that were left that had not gotten their vaccine. And because they didn't comply, they basically suspended them.
That's insane. That's a lot of employees. Where are your nurses at?
That's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, there are a lot of medical professionals, physicians, physicians, nurses, therapists, the whole nine that are choosing not to get the vaccine right now. And I hate the fact that even in social media, people are calling those of us who choose not to get the vaccine right now anti-vaxxers. First of all, I'm an 80s baby, so I have all the vaccines, okay? All except for polio, because that wasn't around in the 80s. But I am still pro-vaccines, but at the same time, I think here's my thing. If you have not shown me your HIV result, if you have not shown me your herpes result, if you have not shown me your cholesterol and your glucose result, don't come telling me about nothing about no vaccine, especially when the CDC has already said that you staying 6 feet apart and wearing a mask is enough. You know what I mean?
That's what it is for me. So they're making everyone get the vaccine so that, is it to protect the patients or protect the employees?
I think it's both, because you protect the patients by not potentially giving them a variant, but then also too for the hospital, because, a lot of hospitals had contingency plans where, if you got COVID, they may have covered you for a few weeks or a few days or whatever the case may be. So I think some of these hospitals too are trying to recoup that money and not have that happen again. So if you get COVID while you're working, they're going to be like, we're not paying for that.
But what it sounds like is the CDC is still recommending that everyone be masked.
Yes, right. even with the vaccine.
So I don't understand if we're all wearing the masks.
Yeah,
and that seems to be mitigating the risk.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't work in that part of the hospital.
Yeah,
I just do what I'm told and see the patient.
But I would agree though. Like if the CDC is if we are still required to wear masks in clinical settings, why is this hospital making it such a big deal to get the vaccine?
I don't know. There's got to be something.
There is. It's got to be money.
Maybe they get a kickback for every vaccine they administer.
Probably.
Or something.
Somebody
or
whistleblow.
They want to be like the first hospital with 100% compliance with the vaccine or something crazy.
Yeah.
I would quit.
I would have to do something.
I currently don't have a mortgage or a car payment, so I'd get the fuck out of there.
I'm so jealous. I have both. Anyway, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. It's totally okay. It's fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely. So even piggybacking off of kind of the FDA, CDC, healthcare, blah, blah, blah.
You just love letters.
I do. So the FDA has actually formally approved a new drug to fight obesity.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'll take that. Now that's a trial I would actually do.
Dude. Okay. What is the biggest risk you would take to lose like 60 pounds in 3 months? No, let's make like 100 pounds in 3 months. Oh my God, I'd be so sad.
I don't think that's a risk. I think that's my dream.
If they were like, you'll have elephantitis, but you'll be 100 pounds lighter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
What's the most you'll do? I would just put up with like a rash or like
I would do a rash. I already got
palpitations.
eczema. I got a rash on my hand right now. So
I would do like palpitations, fatigue, or rash. Probably like constant diarrhea I could deal with.
Okay, palpitations, no.
I would do it.
Ma'am, we work in a cardiac ICU.
I know, but I would do it.
We see way too many people with heart issues, heart transplants.
Can't you let me? But I'll be so skinny.
No.
It'll be so easy to perfuse.
No.
I'll be 100 pounds.
No.
Oh my God, yeah.
No. The most, a rash, I can deal with some diarrhea. That's fine.
What if it was like gout?
No, gout. Hell no.
No, I wouldn't do gout.
Girl, no. The patients we got with gout,
that's like an
Jesus.
awful fucking thing to deal with.
Yeah, that's a straight no. That's a hard no for me. Hard no. But yeah, so the medicine is actually called Wegovy. Wegovy. It's spelled Wegovy. Wegovy.
Wait, one more time. Give it to me.
Wegovy. Wegovy. Wegovy.
No, they should have made it like skinny juice.
That's what I'm saying. What's the name of that?
We should get on a committee to name drugs.
Yeah.
Everyone will be taking them.
The Narzardan, the Dr. Now. Let's call it that since we love 600 Pound Life. So yeah. So we don't know when they're gonna start.
What kind of drug is this? What is this about?
So it basically fights. It's basically like a meal suppressant, and so during the trial,
so it's an upper.
Yeah. So you just basically suppress your appetite, and it attacks the fat cells or whatever. But it basically just suppresses your appetite.
It suppresses it while it's attacking the fat cells.
Supposed to be, but here's the thing: in the trial, they were saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they were saying that people who stopped taking the pill, they actually gain their weight back within like a couple of weeks. And I'm like, God damn.
That's insane.
That's big pharma for you to make a pill like that.
Because my problem is I take my ADHD medicine every day, right? Yeah. Which suppresses my appetite. But then because I'm not eating, my metabolism slows and my body is like, are you a refugee? Why are you not eating food? What's going on? And
you don't eat at all. You're horrible.
I don't eat. So then my body just holds on to everything. So
yeah.
I could have something suppressing my appetite and attacking my fat cells.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me shit.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to suppress my appetite because I love food. So just
But you only love food because you're hungry. But if you weren't hungry, you wouldn't love food.
No, half the time when I eat, I'm not even hungry. It's just there. Okay. That's true obesity. That's true obesity.
Yeah, we'll get back to that one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if I have to take it, how do we get it? I'll just ask my doctor. What is it called? Wegovy.
Yeah, Wegovy. Oh, going back to the vaccine, we totally forgot to mention this. Weren't you telling me something about this hospital that was given marijuana for COVID vaccines?
Not the hospital, ma'am. The entire state of Washington.
Oh, the state, dude. God, yes. Dang, I didn't know that.
Washington State is doing a joints for jabs, and if you get the COVID vaccine, if you're an adult, you can get a free marijuana joint. And so people are like, weren't y'all arresting black people for this like fucking 10 minutes ago? Still arresting black people for that. Marijuana is marijuana even legal here in Texas? And absolutely not. It will never. Well, it will. It will. You think once they find a way to really, tax it and use that money for evil. Yeah. And the GOP really gets a hold of it. And continue to make Texas its own world. Once the white man really gets in charge of that industry and takes it for themselves. Yes. I kind of feel like they've already done that. They have. Yeah. But, here it's just still the devil's lettuce. It's the devil's lettuce? The devil's lettuce. Interesting. Yeah, but Washington State, they're really doing it. So if you are up for being vaccinated from COVID-19, if you enjoy recreational marijuana, that's the place to be. Free joint and a vaccine. Joints for jabs. Joints for jabs. That's just a horrible campaign. This is a group of middle-aged marketing teams. Seriously. Who are like, what can we do? What do the people love? Oh my God. Weed, and we need them to get a vaccine. Oh, perfect. We'll put it together. Yeah, that joints for jabs. Who's your marketing? Who's your PR? I don't know, but motherfuckers are going to roll up for joints for jabs. I don't know that I would trust the government to give me weed. No, it's going to be laced with something experimental, allegedly. They're like, bring all the hippies out and let's give them this laced ass joint. No.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be in jail.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't.
Can
you imagine if it was a hospital? LOL. No,
that would be a whole lot.
I guess you'd have to go to a dispensary to get it, right? It's not like the Walgreens is gonna have weed.
Maybe they partnered with their own dispensary, or they may have partnered with the police department because they always taking people weed, so they should have a surplus.
There's just cuffs.
Just saying.
They just take it from evidence.
Yeah, pretty much.
I hate this country. Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Can you imagine if a church was like, come out to our service on Sundays, Joints for Jesus. Everyone gets a free marijuana joint when you walk in the door.
Joints for Jesus. Joints for Jesus.
That I would be a part of.
Yeah, you're going to hell for that. You're absolutely going straight to hell. I hate you. What were you telling me about the critical race theory? What's been going on with the critical race theory
Florida
here?
voted unanimously last week, the Board of Education, to ban teaching the critical race theory in schools.
Why?
Which is basically, I think all these cute young teachers now are like, hey guys, just so you know, slavery happened and it set black people on this path in our country forever to be fucked up.
Right.
And here's how systemic racism works. And here's how black people can never get a leg up, or they have to work twice as hard because of this, and that. And here's things to be aware of. And the GOP was like, absolutely not.
I just don't understand what the I think... Here's the thing. When I was in school, we learned about all of this stuff. We learned about, we didn't learn about slavery, obviously, unless it was Black History Month. And then they just talked about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. But we learned about all of this stuff, Pearl Harbor, everything that was a part of American history. And I just don't understand why, like, reality is not a part of curriculums.
I think that critical race theory is heavily focused on like, hey, racism, slavery is not in the past. Like, these things are still affecting us today.
Right.
This is how it's doing that. Da, 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 da. And I think for a lot of, I don't want to say just white people, but for a lot of
people, it is the reality.
A lot of older, I'll say like older people, a lot of older generations, they're like, hey, we get it, but like slavery was the past and we got to move past it. So we got to stop bringing up all this shit. Like, black people can't do this because of racism. Black people can't do this because of racism, because it's just going to hold you back. So let's stop teaching that and start teaching slavery happened. We've moved on. Everyone can grow. Right.
But I think that's a farce, because we have not moved forward. And I think until white people in this country really take ownership of how slavery is still affecting the lives of African Americans here in this country and everywhere else, we're never going to be able to move past it. If you can't move past Pearl Harbor, if you cannot move past 9/11, don't ask black people to move past slavery, because the reality is that people of color, specifically black people, are still suffering from the results of slavery. Y'all literally had fucking laws that we couldn't read. And then now you say, oh, well, you can't get this job until you have multiple degrees. Okay, now African-American women have gone and gotten all of these different degrees. And now you move the finish line again and say, well, it's really not about your degrees. It's really about your experience. And until, again, this is why affirmative action had to be put in place. This is why there's such a big push for diversity and inclusion in corporate America and in so many different other professional spaces, is because it's a resultant of the mindset of white people from slavery, that you just have something and that you're owed and entitled something just because you fucking exist.
I think that right now there's this push towards progressive ideas in education. Just because so many schools and parents are having issues with, like, you taught my kids about being transgender before I wanted them to learn it. You taught my kids about this, and that, and I didn't want them to hear that from you. You taught this. So I think everyone right now is just clamping down on everything. But I don't think this needs to be that. Why can't you teach kids that, like, hey, this really fucked up thing happened, and it takes a long time for, culture and the government and civilization to catch up, and we're all trying, but here are the things that are still happening that affect these people, that you wouldn't even realize affect these people.
And also too, to understand that this is what happened and this is how we move forward as a country, and this is what you should not have repeated.
No, I agree. Speaking of black people, we're not off the topic, I'm just saying, did you see black banks? There's been like $150 million funneled into black banks since George Floyd was murdered.
Wow.
Yeah, people, I would love to support a black bank. Is there
you know what? I feel like we can thank, honestly, two black men, two prominent black men in the African American community. Number one, Dr. Umar Johnson, but also two, Killer Mike. because Killer Mike has been an advocate for African Americans taking their money out of these white banks and putting it in the black banks. I will tell you what I did today. I went to the ATM. I won't say what bank I banked with.
And took your money out of the white bank?
I did. But the white bank, literally, you know how on this little screen they give you all these little disclaimers like, oh, do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. Here's what they did. They were like, happy Juneteenth. And I was like, bitch, what? Juneteenth? Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, so the banks can celebrate Juneteenth.
Exactly. But yeah. Anyway, I won't even go there. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. That's the whole 30 minutes.
I want to put my money in a black bank. That's my goal for this year. Don't know. There has to be like findblackbanks.com.
Yeah,
well, because they were saying all these black banks are then funneling money into their community, right? So
that's what it's for. That's the purpose of it.
So I'm like, let's fucking do it.
Because that's what the white banks do. That's what, white banks, or I'll say Jewish people, that's what they do because they own all the fucking banks and own all the money in the United States. But that's literally what ended up happening with them. They were, at one point in time, they couldn't get stuff and they created wealth. And that's how they've been able to help their own people, is by continuing to put their money back into their own community. The African Americans, the African Americans, like I'm not an African American.
Those African Americans, they're just doing the darndest things.
Yeah, we're just the only ones that continue to recirculate our dollar into other cultures of people versus our own. So that's the problem.
Well, that's what everyone's made to believe, that there's just the white bank, these big institutions, and you have to put your money in there because you can't pay with everything for cash now. You need how many things you want to get a house, you need to have personal checks.
Yeah, you do.
You want to have, dude, buying a house fucking sucks, speaking of, but
what, you got an inspection done?
I'm just like, this is my issue with buying a house. They're like, let's do arbitrary numbers. They'll be like, hey, closing costs for your house, you're gonna need $10,000. I'll be like, okay, perfect, cool. So they're like, okay, but just in case, worst case scenario, it'll be $17,000. And you're like, okay, cool. And they're like, okay, well, we need you to prove that you have $17,000. I'm like, but you said I wasn't gonna need $17,000.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, but we want you to prove that you have it. And I'll be like, okay, well, I don't have it in my account right now. I'm gonna have to transfer from some other places. So give me a second. They're like, okay, cool. But we need a statement saying that money's been in your account for 30 days. I'm like, but you told me I didn't need that money, and now I don't have it, and it's not going to be in there for 30 days because I got to transfer it. And they're like, also, don't make any big transfers or deposits into your account because it's going to look fishy.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, didn't I just like when I was buying my house, I was in school for my MBA, and I was paying for my MBA out of pocket because my MBA only cost me $9,000, which
that's awesome.
In retrospect, other MBA programs are like $30-something thousand. So shouts out to Western Governors University. Anyway, and when I paid for my thing, like it was like a $700 payment every month that came out. And so my mortgage lender called me and was like, what did you just buy for $700? And I was like, first of all, why do you know my money like that? And he was like, because this could mess up your loan. And I'm like, sir, I told you when I met with you on the very first day, the only big purchase over $500 that comes out of my account every single month is paying for school. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot you told me that. Yeah, calm down and get out of my account.
Yeah, dude. It's just insane that I'm like, and I'm getting money back at closing.
Well, that's good.
So I'm like, not only do I not need the amount of money you're asking me, I don't even need the money that's less than the money you're asking me, but you want to, it's so fucked up, dude.
That's
so
crazy.
I can understand how hard it is for people. Like, I'm in the best possible situation for myself. I'm not paying a mortgage right now or a rent. I don't have a car payment. I'm just
Are you trying
chilling.
to brag? That's I don't want to play this game.
I live with my mom, and she doesn't make me pay my bills.
And she makes dinner for me every night. Yeah. And she wakes me up to make sure I'm not late for work.
Don't fucking tell the people.
Oh, sorry. Your mom's a great mom.
She is a good mom.
She's a great mom.
I don't know what the fuck I did to her to paranoid her, but she thinks that I'm going to be late for work every day. Maybe because when I was anemic, I did used to sleep like 13 hours.
Well, because she's a mom. And now that you're back in her house, the mom turns right back on.
She's like, surely Alyssa could never just wake herself up and get herself to work without me.
Because when you had your own place, you're like, hey lady, I'm moving and shaking in this world. But now, I need you to be my alarm clock.
But I'm just like, I can't imagine how hard it is for people who have rents and kids and other things and still get hit with all this shit.
Listen, I cannot imagine. I know we just went off topic. All right, let's just take a quick break and we'll be right back. This episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler is sponsored by MyApothecary.com. My Apothecary is the premier online destination for hemp-derived CBD that will help you curate a wealthy lifestyle.
CBD is one of many restorative compounds found in the cannabis plant. Its benefits include decreased pain, improved mood, decreased anxiety, and much more. Some of y'all know that I have crazy ADHD, so I'm heavily medicated at all times, and I've been taking CBD oil at night to kind of calm me down, get me ready for bed. 10/10 would recommend.
Worried about regulations? The passing of the 2018 Farm Bill made hemp-derived CBD legal to sell and consume. So yes, CBD is 100% legal and perfect for every person of legal age. My Apothecary's featured line, Broad Bloom, offers broad-spectrum CBD oil drops, sports cream, and soft gels. These products have no THC, so you can stay fly without the high or zen without the spin. Shop now at www.myapothecary.com and sign up for their newsletter to get exclusive offers, product releases, and CBD news.
Remember to always check with your healthcare provider before consuming any supplement. You must be 21 to purchase and consume, and shipping is only available in the US of A.
Don't forget to shop at www.myapothecary.com. I cannot imagine having kids right now. You want to do what? You need what for school? Didn't I just buy you some shoes? Didn't you just eat yesterday? Like, forget the quietness in my house.
Can you imagine
the peace.
The projects, and they're like, oh, I have a project that's like poster board, markers, supplies, and shit. No, I'm not buying it.
Well, even with us working, potentially 10 or 12 days straight, and you want me to take care of a human being and keep it alive?
Well, when I get home, I get home, and I'm not fucking leaving. Make your own food. You're on your own for dinner. My brother is 18, and the other day, my mom called me to be like, hey, are you home? I said, yeah. She goes, tell your brother everyone's on their own for dinner. We're not doing anything. I told my brother. He was like, so I'm just supposed to... I was like, I feel you, but yeah, you're just supposed to go.
Yeah.
God, there's shit in the freezer, I guess.
Figure it out, man.
Fucking Hot Pockets tonight, baby.
Cereal. I'll tell you, cereal
Mom
is
said
my
we're on our own,
go-to.
so I was like, I'll order pizza for both of us, because what the fuck?
Yeah,
Dude, I can't imagine taking care of anything but myself right now.
No, I mean,
I have a dog. I don't even feed him. I can't tell you when he's getting fed. Someone in the house is feeding him. He's shitting, so I know he's eating.
I don't even have pets. I have nothing, and I'm still like, Lord, I need help. Like, I go to work, come home, I'm so tired.
And that is a lot. Like, just, I think about it because I'm like, I don't have extra time during the day, but what am I doing? But going home, or like going to work, driving home, just sitting there and being a normal person, it takes everything I have.
And then I'm just like, how the hell does Beyonce create all this time in her world?
You have
to
the
be
same amount of hours in your day as Beyonce. No, that's a bullshit.
No,
She's a vegan. She has more time and energy to expend. I don't. The meat and dairy in my system clogs my whole being, clogs my brain, my arteries, everything. It slows me down. She moves faster.
Yeah. Well, Beyonce also too has assistants that can cook, clean for her, take care of her kids and all that. But we are not operating in the same 24 hours that Beyonce has.
Put me in her tax bracket. Let's see how much shit I get done.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Probably still nothing, to be honest.
I'll be like, I'm rich.
I'm rich, so
I don't have to do all of this stuff. All right. So yeah, back to critical race theory.
Back to racism in the United States.
Specifically in Florida. Yeah. Teach these kids the truth about American history. They're going to learn about it regardless. And I think too, even parents, it is a responsibility. I think it should be the responsibility of parents also too, to educate their children on real American history. The fact that, you still got a holiday, Columbus Day. This man literally stole a whole land, and you're giving reparations to the Native Americans for a reason. You have Indian reservations for a reason. It's not just because, we like these people. Mm-hmm. No, like you literally owe them because you stole their land.
Is there not a way? I'm not a teacher, right? I was a kind of a teacher for a year. Did you know that?
No.
In a high school, it's a high school teacher, avid. It's like
They trust you with kids?
They did trust me with kids.
Wow.
9th to 12th grade, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a weird time. We would just talk about Vampire Diaries, but
that's educational, I guess.
There has to be a way to teach kids, like, listen, society is ruled by the majority of people. The majority of people in the U.S. are white, right?
Right.
All of these things have been put in place for a long time. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is coherent to the small things that are going on that are actively suppressing people.
Right.
But it's happening. So just so you know, and it's something to think about and, you know, acknowledge and be present to.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be teaching kids like white people are bad and this is what they're doing to the economy and they're always keeping the black people down and it started with slavery and it's never going to stop. That's toxic. I would love it, but it's toxic.
I don't think that's toxic. I think it's the truth.
It is the truth, but I think we'll just poison the minds of
I don't think
kids.
you should do that in elementary school.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine these fucking first graders that come home like, Mom, we're white and we're evil.
They called us, Tamika called me the devil.
And she's right. Do you know we've been oppressing Tamika and her family for generations?
Mom, what's an auction block? It's just like that little commercial where the guy's like, all right, kids, I want y'all to give me words that end in A-N. And she's like, lesbian. And he's like, somebody else, prostitution whore. He's like, words that end in O-R-E. And it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, there has to be a way to just be like, this is the reality.
Yeah.
And it's a negative, I don't know, it's one of those things that overall it is negative and needs to be addressed, but there's so much into it. It's really the 1% I would blame.
Yeah, but I think too, you can't have the reality without understanding the torment behind it, because then you're sugarcoating it. And again, I don't think elementary school kids need to learn that to a degree. I think you need to have the maturity to understand exactly what's going on, because when you don't, then you get in these spaces when you become an adult, you're ill-equipped. And then when somebody comes at you and it's just like, you're a racist piece of shit, and you're like, oh, what do you mean? I didn't know that was offensive.
The issue
you know
I think we're having now is that, especially with Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and all this shit, there were white people who are so on the defense because they were like, what do you mean I'm a racist? I don't call black people the N-word. I have friends that are black, and you guys are all coming at us doing this and that. Had we started these conversations years ago saying like, do you know that maybe your life has been hard, but it's been significantly easier to do this and that and move and shake in the world because of these things. And like, you know, do you remember all those little videos that would come on Instagram that would be like, this black person, this white person both go to get a loan, and this person has to do this, and this person does this. Or, you know, we had this was happening in these neighborhoods at this time, and it moved all these people here, and because of that, this became a hood or whatever.
Right. Gentrification.
If you learned that and you're aware of those things, you can, I don't know, be more equipped to handle conversations like, you may not be a racist, but we're a part of a racist society in which you benefit, and when you don't acknowledge those things, it makes everyone else jump on you. You're racist too, you're a part of it, you're not acknowledging
and then I think it also helps us to open up the dialogue for parents and their children to be able to say, well, Mom, this is what I learned in school. Dad, can we talk about it? And then you're able to have healthy conversations with your kids, other than trying to figure out some stupid ass fractions that you're never going to use in your lifetime. You know what I mean? To a degree. But I definitely think that it helps to open up those familial dialogues to be able to understand the society that these kids are now living in. Because, you know, again, back in the silent generation, baby boomers, they didn't talk about certain things like that, or it was just in your face because you were met with fire hoses and dogs and all this kind of stuff, and you lived through this.
But honestly, I'm thinking if I grew up in that time and I see those horrific things happening, but I know it wasn't happening to me, I'd be like, I better keep my fucking mouth shut, because that shit could happen to me.
True. I mean, I could definitely see that, but I know even too, like in my household growing up, I just remember my mom and dad having conversations with my sisters and I about race, and about there were certain things you can and cannot do as a black woman. There are certain, or not even as a woman, as a black person living and shaking in America. And I think if more white people were having these conversations with their white children, then there would be less privilege or more acknowledgement of their privilege. So that way, when you get into these spaces and you see other marginalized people being discriminated against, you will feel comfortable to be able to then use your white privilege for good, you know?
And maybe it will happen now with her. I mean, just even the way things change, the way freaking Gen Z is now, calling people out on TikTok. You see things more. Everyone's recording things. People are talking about things. Information is shared in the blink of an eye. So maybe with all these people raising kids, it'll be different.
More, yeah. I hope so.
I know. I'm going to open a school. You're welcome to join me. Health literacy and systemic racism. That's all we're teaching.
Okay, can I just manage it? Because I don't really want to teach kids.
We'll work at that.
I mean, I have a student now, but she's a grown adult.
Yeah, so. It won't be in Florida though. That's for sure.
I'm not. Can we build a Publix inside the school at least?
Yeah, you can bring Publix to Texas.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, good.
All right, so also in the news, what was going on with Danielle Frazier?
Darnella.
Wow, sorry. Did I say Darnell? Danielle, sorry.
Yikes.
It was the way you wrote it on this thing. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh, it's my fault that you turned her white. Okay. She won a Pulitzer Prize.
What is a Pulitzer Prize? What is that?
Like a Pulitzer, you know.
Like a Nobel Peace Prize?
No, like a Pulitzer Prize.
I literally don't know what that is.
Okay. Really?
I'm serious.
You won a Pulitzer Prize. Yay. No? Okay. It's
I've never heard of that before in my life.
It's awarded in like journalism and literature and shit.
I'm not a journalist. Why would I know that? I just decided to create a fucking podcast in the middle of a pandemic.
You know why? It's because you're not a hard-hitting journalist. You started a podcast in the middle of a pandemic. That automatically makes you.
I have 4 degrees and none of them are in journalism whatsoever. Communications, nothing.
She won the citation for courageously recording the murder of George Floyd, a video that spurred protests against police brutality around the world, highlighting the crucial role of citizens and journalists' quest for truth and justice.
That's awesome. She won it or she was just nominated?
She won it, and she gets $15,000.
That's awesome. Well, here's the thing. I think that her winning that award is a catch-22. It's amazing that she was able to do that. But it's traumatic because you're literally having to relive capturing this man's last breath and for it to be, that was the sound of Alyssa tearing off the little arm. I'm so glad that this caught on camera. I'm so grateful that this caught on camera.
Well,
so grateful.
If someone had properly installed my mic.
I did. I told you could tighten it.
Ihole. Here's my thing with that. What a precarious position to be in, because how not bipartisan. What's the word when people are separated? Like how
segregation. I'm kidding.
How just like,
polar opposite?
How polarizing. Yes. How polarizing that whole thing was, right?
Yeah.
So you probably had people on one side being like, good on you, girl. Can't believe you did that. Took so much courage. And you probably had people being like, you fucking bitch. Like, how dare you record that and send it in? You don't even know what was happening. You started all this racist bullshit. Da 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 da.
Oh, I'm quite sure she got
literally
hate.
Changed an entire, like, that has shaped our entire, I would say, the decade coming.
It's a new shaping. It's definitely a new shaping of things.
She single-handedly, by taking that video, has shaped American culture. It's insane. That's an insane burden to carry.
And in that moment too, because there were other people that were still there, because even the young man, I can't remember his name, but he took the stand as a witness. He was the guy who was an MMA fighter, and he knew that the police officer was using, an MMA move or whatever. And I think, all of those people that were there that were calling out the police and being courageous enough to still call them out and record, even when they're get on the thing, get away from us. You're impeding on it. Let's just pause so you can get this right. Because next time we're going to give you another stand. How about that? We're going to give you the regular stand.
Okay. Oh shit! Hold on.
Did you break it again? Sweet lamb of God.
I just keep messing with levers until it does what I want it to. Okay, we're good. Well, wait, I'm back. Okay.
Okay.
What was that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Even the guy who did the MMA fight, I remember because he says that they were doing crazy ass karate moves on him and shit.
Yeah. So that's congratulations to her. Congratulations.
It has to feel good for some kind of good to come out of this shit situation.
Yeah, because
that did take a lot of courage. I don't know. Do you remember all those?
She was 17 at the time.
Do you remember all those movies in the 80s and 90s, like The Pelican Brief and like what's the movie with Will Smith where the recording comes out and
I know, because Regina King is his his wife. Oh, and they bug his
enemy of the state. That, where you're watching people who have this damning recording, right?
Yeah.
And can't come out and da-da-da-da-da. Ooh.
This is why recordings are beneficial. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway. All right.
Protect your neck.
What's going on with the Keystone Pipeline?
Yo, is she dead?
Cool beans.
She gone. Biden said she gone.
So for those people who don't know what the Keystone Pipeline is, what is the Keystone Pipeline?
The Keystone Pipeline was from Canada to the U.S. oil. Mm-hmm. That's about the extent I know about the Keystone Pipeline, but it was running through some indigenous lands, I believe.
Yes.
So the Native Americans were like...
That apparently they had treaties on that they would, back in the day, that they would not tread through this land because it was sacred.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the Keystone Pipeline went right through it. Everyone was pissed off. First of all, it's horrible for the environment. Second of all, it's great for oil and gas money.
Yeah, very true.
So anything that has to do with a lot of money, polarizing. But I think one of the first things Biden did in office to get everybody on his side, he was like, I'm going to stop this pipeline.
And still, African Americans have no safety in this country.
And still, I owe fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in
Listen,
student
he's
loans.
not paying off student loans. Let me speak right to the camera. Daddy Joe Biden. Let me tell you something. Let me just calm down because I got riled up real quick. Let me explain something to you. You lied to us, okay? You promised us that you were gonna pay off some loans, and you ain't protect us. You done made an Asian bill. You done made a LGBTQ plus bill. Black folks still out here getting killed, and we ain't got no student loans. I'm very disappointed in you, Joe Biden. You're not Daddy Joe Biden. You're just Joe. Mm-hmm. Joey.
Fucking Joseph.
Oops. Yeah. Joseph. That's what you're gonna be.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Joseph B. It's ridiculous. So yeah, good that they stopped it. I'm glad. I know that the Native Americans in our country are glad as well too. Thank God for that.
I'm just like, can you just, I don't know.
Can you just be decent people, please? Also in the news, I think this is more troubling even than Joe Biden not giving us our student loans. Did you hear that Chipotle is reportedly raising their menu prices by 4% in order to raise employee pay to $15 an hour?
I'm not fucking doing it. Here's why.
You don't think they should give a living?
It's already expensive ass shitty Mexican food. I'm not paying more for shitty Mexican food.
Chipotle is not even Mexican.
It's burritos.
It's
what
not even.
What country do you think burritos hail from?
Yeah, but that's like gentrified Mexican.
Okay,
It's nothing
it's
about it.
Like Mexican Subway, and I'm not paying It's already like $17 for a burrito bowl.
What damn Chipotle are you going to?
You don't eat meat, so it's different for you.
Listen, I pay $7.25.
I want to say I pay like $12, like $12 or $13.
What are you getting? Are you getting chips and queso?
Bitch, no. I just get a bowl with chicken and beef. No.
See, that's what you're greedy ass. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, spice it up.
I never pay more than $8 for my burrito bowl.
I think I'm gonna look up the price right now on a fucking
let's do it.
Meat burrito bowl.
Yeah,
that shit's already expensive, and I get that. Listen, I'm pro at anyone getting their bag, but you're not gonna get in mind to get yours.
But it's probably the 4% is probably like they're gonna raise it by like 20 cents or 30 or even 50 cents. Even if they raise it by $1, you can afford to go to Chipotle every day. You just said you ain't got no mortgage, you ain't got no car payment. You can afford Chipotle.
First of all, I don't go to Chipotle every day. Please get that off the airways. I don't eat that shit every day.
I used to in PT school because it was quick and easy. And when I got my little refund checks, I thought I was balling. And then
it's a great way to meal prep.
Yeah. But it's definitely not Mexican food. They have good food though.
So it's $9 for a steak bowl. But when you add guac, $2.35 for guac. Holy shit!
Well, they're robbing you because they're giving you a spoonful of guac and you can go buy an avocado.
$2.35 That's where they're getting me. Son of a bitch.
And see, you're not even watching your buddy. Dave Ramsey is really pissed at you right now.
Dave Ramsey will be coming for me. I'm like, guac at it. What the fuck? So what does this come out to? Hold on. Oh, I have to make it
I swear I never pay more than $8.
Well, bitch, you don't get anything in the bowl.
Yeah, I do. I get everything in the bowl. Except I don't get the fajita veggies, but I do get guac because guac comes free if you're a vegetarian. See?
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is $12.29. It's like $12.
So you're paying for them to be able to serve you for an hour. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I will be boycotting.
I would pay.
I will still be eating Chick-fil-A even though they're homophobic, but I will not be eating Chipotle when they raise the prices to fucking pay their workers fairly.
Listen, I will still eat Chipotle and Chick-fil-A.
I'll eat what I eat. I don't know what to tell everybody.
Raise them prices to $15 an hour. Raise their wage to $15 an hour. People
then raise my wage.
Ma'am, you have a master's degree. You are, listen, you're closer to the 1% than people who are working at Chipotle, okay?
Still a far drop.
It's shameful. All right, let's talk about some wait, do we have anything else we need to talk about?
No, you're talking about some social stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about some social stuff.
I don't know how you feel about Tiana Taylor.
She's beautiful.
Like literally quintessentially hot. Like how Halle Berry was in the 90s, I think she is to us, right? Like she may be
that to you, but not to me.
Okay. Great. Glad we talked about that.
Because she's your generation, she's not mine.
That's true. She is just like a beautiful person, right?
I love how she's beautiful and like digs her nose and like digs her cheeks and doesn't care.
Yeah. And she like also just has a banging ass body.
She does. And I mean, she can sing. She's not one of my singers, like top singers, but
yeah, she
does have a nice voice.
I appreciate her voice. That last album was good. I did like it. Anyway, she was just named Sexiest Woman Alive in Maxim's Hot 100, but she's the first black woman to be named
Really?
Sexiest Woman Alive.
Beyonce never got that?
No.
Wow. Now, I will say Tiana Taylor deserves that because her body, first of all, this girl has pushed
Remember
out
the
2
freaking
kids.
Fade video?
Fade was, I was just like, I could never have a body like that.
No.
Listen, you wouldn't be able to I would be such a hoe if I had her body. You wouldn't be able to tell me
I would
shit.
be a living terror if that was my body. I'd be like,
Listen.
tell me something. You can't.
I would just walk around the streets naked and dare you to take me to jail. Like,
Do it. You won't, because I'm too hot.
yeah. She has an amazing body.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
But to be the first black woman.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
I really thought maybe like Tyra Banks or
Yeah, because I feel like
Beyonce or even Halle Berry.
That shit's been out forever.
Yeah.
The Maxim Hot 100.
Wow. Well,
So,
congratulations to her.
good on
That's
her.
well
Well
deserved.
deserved.
Yeah. Because remember when they made what's his name, John Legend, like the sexiest man, and I was like, come on. And even Chrissy Teigen was like, okay, bitch, I love my husband, but too far, too far. He's not. No,
He's
no.
not. No, he looks like Arthur to me always.
Definitely, he definitely.
He's
looks like
an
Arthur.
anteater for sure.
Yeah.
The Kardashians are ending their reign on Bravo or
Thank
E,
you, Jesus.
not on Bravo.
Thank you, Jesus.
And on the
Hallelujah.
heels of that, Kanye just unfollowed all of them.
He needs to. He need to go somewhere and get his mind back.
So did you see that he's dating? Well, we talked about it, right? That model, Irina. What the fuck?
Yeah, because I don't know her name.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know who she is.
And so did you hear? So I guess you didn't hear all this stuff, but supposedly she dated Cristiano Ronaldo, and everyone was like, she was his beard when they were dating. So now everyone thinks she's Kanye's beard.
Cristiano Debardo. Who's that?
Ma'am, Cristiano Ronaldo is the soccer player. He's very famous.
Oh, he's gay?
Well, that's what the
You just
rumor
said his
now
beard.
is.
Oh, okay. You just said that she was his beard.
Everyone's saying that it was well known when they were together that she was his beard, and everyone thinks that is now what she's doing for Kanye West.
I kind of like Kanye West and Amber Rose. I'm sorry. I just like them as a couple. I really do.
Wasn't that a fun time in pop culture?
Yeah. I mean, I still like him better with his original girlfriend who, when he got in the accident or whatever, but neither here nor there.
She's jaw wired shut. Yeah, she's probably moved on.
Yeah, she's definitely moved on to bigger and better things. She's like, I dodged the bullet. Thank you, Jesus. All right, what else is going on in social media?
Okay, we're moving on from that. Tyler Perry is hinting to a Why Did I Get Married Part 3.
I'm excited.
I will drink that up like juice.
Yes, I love as much shit as people talk about Tyler Perry and talking about all the stuff that they see and like the editing and all. Let me tell you something. Tyler Perry is a boss. This man writes, produces, and directs because he's like, I ain't cutting nobody no check. I'm keeping all's the money. Mm-hmm. You be homeless one time in your life and you will learn how to keep all the monies, and I don't blame him for it. But I think he's an amazing writer, and
it's
I love that
for
series.
the soul. It's just like whether it's good or it's bad, you're like, that's just what I needed. A little,
and actually, Madea. Remember, it was Madea had the final tour or whatever, like the farewell tour. Well, apparently she's not really gone. He just scored a deal with Netflix, and he's bringing Madea to Netflix, which I think is amazing.
She was made for sitcom.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That will be perfect.
Like Madea, Mr. Brown, Cora, like those 3 characters there, amazing. And even what's her name, Hattie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that
that'll
neighbor.
Be good.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Terry Perry.
Terry Pyler. Can't wait to see him.
Terry Pyler. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Did you see that principal on Instagram who was singing to his high school class?
Yes, I did.
Y'all.
Let me play this for y'all.
Y'all better not ever let me have any kind of position of power over anybody because I will use it to my advantage like this man did.
Would you sing? Even if you couldn't sing, would you sing
Even
for
if
the
I couldn't
kids?
sing, and I was like, you know what? I'm up here on this little cute stage.
That is hilarious. He did so well. First of all, I loved my principal from 9th grade.
He had a Mr. Clark or what?
He was. His name was Mr. William Dudley. I don't know if he's still alive. He might be still alive. I'm going to say he's still alive. I'm not going to kill him like that. He was an amazing black man. And he was literally like a Mr. Clark. And everyone loved him. And then he ended up getting a stinking promotion and took his ass to the school board. And we were so pissed and so hurt. Oh, our feelings were so hurt. And then we got this wonderful child of God lady who didn't know what the hell she was doing and was afraid of black kids. I'll just say that. So anyway, this is what he was singing basically. You better sing. Break it down for us, Reverend.
It's the high notes for me.
Yeah. You better sing it, brother. You better sing it.
That's
And this
what
was
I'm telling you.
in
Don't
North Carolina.
do not give me a microphone in front of a crowd. You won't like it.
He's a high school principal in High Point, North Carolina. His name is Marcus Goss. Goss? I'm going to say it's Goss. Gause.
Gossy.
Why are you trying to make it so complicated? Like,
That's my job.
we get it. You're born and raised in San Antonio. We get it. You're a little bilingual.
Goosey. Goosey. Goosey.
Juicy smoothie. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Wow. That was amazing. I love it.
I love that. How are people still graduating? It's fucking July.
I didn't graduate until June. Like June.
Really?
I think I graduated from high school. I want to say it was either June 14th or June 16th.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. Well, my bank likes
you know.
Juneteenth.
So, what have you been watching? I don't even want you to answer that because I need to talk about how we need to watch Insecure all over again for the final season.
Yes. I'm so sad.
I want to talk about how fucking Jay, what's his last name?
Alexander.
I
don't know that's.
Why can't I remember this right now?
I don't know.
I want to say Jay Elliott. That's not Ellis. God damn it. That's why. Jay Ellis. Mm-hmm. How he loves Issa.
Like in real life.
Like in real life.
I love that they're all like really true friends in real life.
I'm just like, I love that whole group of people. I love how they all stand and show out for each other. Mm-hmm. I love their chemistry. I am so sad for the show to end. I love what she's done. The freaking dialogue was great. The plot was great. The music was great. The cinematography was great.
Very
and all the plot lines, the twists, the turns, the black people. I loved that show. I loved that show so much.
See, Insecure, I feel like, first of all, I love Insecure, but I feel like Insecure to me, like to you is like how Living Single was for me. Like Living Single felt like, it just felt the same. Like this is just a new age version of like Living Single. But yeah. And going through the wilds of relationships and all that. And
this show felt like such a breath of fresh air. Like, these are people who look like me and talk like me and are going through the same things as me, but it's not weird or dated or seems far off or fairy tale or scripted.
Yeah. Because it's almost like Living Single morphed into Girlfriends and then Girlfriends morphed into Insecure.
I would love for Insecure to morph into something else, but like this was just...
Yeah, I just wish it wouldn't stop. Like, why are they stopping at 5 seasons? There's so much more to talk about.
So relevant to the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
so
actually,
attractive. I don't know who's doing the casting for that show, but
well, even the wardrobe though. Whoever's doing the wardrobe, they look amazing all the time. Yes,
they all look so good.
And even like with Issa Rae being like the awkward black girl, her wardrobe matches that as well. But I love the fact that they are real friends in real life, and even too on their social media pages, they had like the farewell kind of the final episode or the final take or shot, whatever they want to call it. And everybody on that set was like so emotional. But again, Molly and Issa, their friendship, it translates on screen. I don't know if they were friends before she got casted, but I definitely would believe they grew up together.
It's one of those things where you can tell everyone.
Yvonne Molly.
Everyone, but she's always Molly.
Yeah,
like,
she's always
going to
Molly.
be a Molly. I love that show. They all were so excited to be on that show, happy working on that show. Yeah. Everyone was so included in everything that it shows through the work. Everyone, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Man, I'm pissed.
I know.
And I'm still Team Lawrence. Fuck everybody. I don't care what you say. He's a toxic king and I love him and I'm alright. That's my man and I'm gonna stand beside him.
I'm gonna stick beside him. I can't. I will not.
Yo, so I need to go back and watch it all because do you know when the 5th season's coming out?
No, I don't.
Me either. I just know that they've finished
maybe fall. I would assume fall.
Dude, do you remember in the last season when they played Return of the X at the end of an episode?
No, because I still haven't finished it. Because I'm savoring it. Because I knew it was coming to an end, so I want to savor it.
I cannot believe you haven't finished that season.
I know.
So do you know at the end what happens?
No. Don't spoil it. If you spoil
you don't
it,
know
kill you. No, don't spoil it. And nobody in the comments spoil it either. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
There's a huge, like...
I don't watch TV like right now. I'm just like, I need rest for my soul.
When you're watching that season, I remember watching it thinking like, man, I bet this is what's going to happen. And I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. That's too fucking typical. And like, that would be crazy. They're not going to do it. They're going to twist it. And then it happened and I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Not digging
Amanda
it.
Seales, she finished her scenes, I think, last week or top of this week. And her and what was her name? Dubois. What was her name on the show?
Kelly?
No.
Dubois.
That's her last name. The Dubois. The DeBoses, whatever their names were. Her character's name.
You're talking about Tiffany and her husband?
Tiffany Dubois. Yes.
Derek? Oh no,
yes.
Derek's the other guy.
No, there's the other guy. But yeah, Amanda Seales and her husband, who play her play husband.
This is gonna make me mad. Don't say anything. Hold on.
Oh jeez. Okay.
It's not Devin. Derek. His name Chad. No, her husband's name is Derek, and the other guy's Chad, right?
I'll find it out.
Get a little tighter, you broken
Prometheus.
Her husband is
Randy Watson.
You're dumb.
Essential chocolate.
I hate you.
Oh gosh, I love you too, sugar.
I think Derek is his name. Derek Dubois. Yes, that's correct.
Derek Dubois. Yeah. And Tiffany. Yeah.
They finished their scenes.
Yeah, they finished their scenes earlier in the week. So I don't know if she was there for the Issa Rae and Yvonne orgy situation. Anyway, what else have you been watching?
I just started Sweet Tooth, as you know, on Netflix.
On Netflix, because this is the first season, right?
Yeah, post-apocalyptic. There's like some virus that happens, and all these people start dying, and because their pinky starts doing some crazy shit, like fluttering, and that's how you know that they're sick. At the same time, people start dying. These babies are,
Interesting.
They really just have a pinched nerve.
Yeah.
At the same time that people are dying, all the babies that are born are these hybrids that look like Mr. Tumnus from fucking Narnia, but it's like deer babies, pig babies, all this weird shit.
Yeah.
So people think they don't know if the virus started the babies or the baby started the virus. They start hunting the babies. So this man takes his fucking newborn kid and is like, "We're getting out of here. I'm gonna fucking Bear Grylls wilderness this shit." So this little boy grows up in the wilderness with his dad his whole life. Things happen. The little boy ends up having to go on his own. Mm-hmm. And so it's about that, but it's pretty fucking good.
Oh,
it's
cool.
cute. He's cute and it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, the movie the movie that
you blamed me for making you watch.
I did. And I had no right to do that, and I apologize. It's bad. It was called Awake, and it's on Netflix. It just came out. And basically it's like another kind of apocalyptic kind of situation, but no zombies or anything like that. So basically what happens is the main character, she has a daughter and a son. Her husband died in combat for the military. She used to be prior military as well. She doesn't have custody of her kids. Her mother-in-law has them because of something. They never tell why she didn't have custody of her kids. I'm assuming she had some kind of like depression
PTSD
or something like that. Yeah. And so she goes to get the kids for the day or whatever, just to hang out with them. And all of a sudden, as they're driving, everybody's cars stop in the middle of the road. Like the batteries shut off, everything shuts off with the cars. And they end up having an accident. And I'm not spoiling the movie. This is what's in the preview. So anyway, all the power goes out to the whole entire world. And basically when this happens, there's some kind of geo shift or something where people cannot fall asleep and everybody's just awake. And once you stay awake for like 24 hours to 48 hours, you start to be, fatigued. Then you start getting delirious and you start having hallucinations. Your brain swells, your organs start to die, blah, blah, blah. And so they're trying to find this cure, but her daughter is like the piece of the puzzle because her daughter can sleep and they're trying to figure out how come she can sleep, but nobody else can. And at the end of the movie, you end up figuring out why the daughter is able to sleep. I just didn't like the ending because it just kind of left it open-ended, like it can be like a second part to it. But I mean, it was
kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was like, going through the wilds of, the United States or the world just going crazy and how violence ensues and all this other kind of stuff. But it was okay. The ending just pissed me off.
So when you sent me that egregious voicemail, I googled the movie to make sure that I didn't
You're like, wait, did I?
Yeah, I was like, shit, man, let me see. And there's all these pieces of like the ending of Awake, what it means, like because obviously I think a lot of people have the same issue you do.
Yeah.
Not being able to sleep is one of my biggest fears. There's nothing I hate more than not being able to sleep when I want to.
And I fall asleep so easy.
Yeah.
I fall asleep hella easy.
So can you imagine not being able to?
Yeah, that would be.
But this apocalyptic shit is getting me because even in Sweet Tooth, we were just watching it. It was fine. But then someone said something like, oh, yeah. And that's when the internet went down. And I was like, because the idea of no one being able to access the internet scares the shit out of me.
Well, that's what happened during Snowvid.
That is true.
When we didn't know if we were in an apocalypse or not, we didn't know the rest of the world was affected. Internet.
We were still on the grid.
I was not.
Exactly. So I don't know what that feels like, and I'm not trying to find out.
And then my text messages were turning all green, and I was like, oh, no, I'm not getting any blue messages.
Double homicide.
I know. It was horrible. It was horrible to be cut off, and they were taking forever. And because my house, for some reason, AT&T. Anyway, that's a whole other talk show.
That's insane. Yeah, but there was something about him saying, and then the internet went down, and I was like...
Yeah, they didn't have internet, and even too.
That's crazy to me.
In the movie, when all the power went out, of course, the grocery stores were not accepting credit cards. So if you did not have cash, and we are the age of plastic, and people. I even saw this TikTok one time I think it was actually a couple weeks ago. They were saying that you need to keep at least like $500 worth in cash on you in your house somewhere hidden, because at some point in time, we may get to a point where the system may crash, because if they're hacking hospitals, they're hacking gas lines, they're going to hack a bank, and you're not going to be able to use your credit card. Because remember a few years ago during Black Friday time, Target was compromised. And I guess people who had shopped at any Target during like a 2-week span of time.
They said it went back 2 weeks.
Yeah, they went back 2 weeks, and everybody's cart was compromised. And I remember my bank called me, my mom, my sisters. Everybody shops at Target. It's like just like Walmart.
This was before they did the transgender bathrooms, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
That really turned
it wasn't in response to it.
Literally turned a lot of people off Target.
That would have been interesting for it to have happened after they did that. Like, we're gonna get you. But yeah, so
that is it's insane. I told you my nanny used to give me $100 in ones when I was in college. Ever tell you that?
Did your nana go to a strip club?
She was like, "Hey girl, go get yours." No, she'd be like, "Here is $100 in ones. Keep it in your car in case you have emergency or something." This is when I lived in Austin, and it was like South Korea or someone put out a list, or North Korea, and they're like, "If we bomb the United States, these are the places we're bombing." And it was like New York, LA, Austin, Texas.
It's never Florida.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
People
are like, leave Florida alone. They're already dealing with their own shit.
Listen, Florida and California at some point in time will separate from the rest of the United States.
I'll just break off
as the sea level keeps rising.
Into the water.
Yeah.
So she used to give me $100 in one. She's like, if there's an emergency and you need cash, keep this in your car. Every time I was drunk and broke, I'd sneak out to my car. I'd pull out like $15, $20 worth of ones, and I go, that shit was empty.
What did you do with it?
Go get drunk. Or buy food, because I was drunk.
Your grandma must be very proud of you.
She is extremely proud of me.
Interesting. All right, let's go over to the rehab corner. Or do we have anything else to talk about in social media? Before we go to the rehab corner?
No, that's it. I was watching Dirty John too.
What is Dirty John?
Dirty John was a podcast about a woman who was dating a doctor, and all this weird shit happened. He was not who he said he was. It's like true stories about crazy ass men and the women who have to deal with them.
See, this is why women go on Snap. It's not because they're crazy.
And they're justified.
The men drive them into this type of mentality.
Yeah, so the second season of Dirty John. So the first one was about the guy named John, right? Dirty John. It was a podcast. They made it a show on Netflix. It's still called Dirty John, but it's about this woman named Betty Broderick. She's dating this man who was this high powered. He went to med school. He went to law school. This was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
They were Catholic, so she was just like, I'm going to raise the kids. I'm going to stay at home. You're going to do this and that. Well, he starts cheating on her. He divorces her, and he is a fucking huge lawyer.
You like dysfunctional relationships, don't you?
I love the toxicity. Are you kidding me? It gives me life. Because I'm like, and so in the whole thing, he is driving her crazy, right? He's using the law, he's baiting her, and it's working because he wants to get her, there's all these laws and things that he knows, right? And so in one part of me, I'm like, I understand it was a different time, and I understand because her whole thing is like, I stayed with the kids, and like, you could live this life because I stayed with the kids, and da-da-da-da. And on the other hand, I'm like, girl, you knew he was going to do this to you. You knew he was crazy. You should have kept your mouth fucking shut. You should have got a plan together.
Right.
But that's just me. It's really, you know how you watch apocalyptic shit to take notes and know what to do? I watch crazy fucking dysfunctional shit because I'm like, I need to know what I would do.
Yeah.
And you can't start going crazy because that's what they want.
Except for your movies are not going to help save your life. Like, at least they'll teach me how to make fire.
No, I don't want to save my life. I just want to save my money and my reputation and pride.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, my body, could care less.
Interesting.
Unless you get me that obesity drug that makes me look like Tiana Taylor.
Wegovy.
If I look like Tiana Taylor, I'd have a way different mindset.
Listen, first of all, I know that because I am obese, I will never look like Tiana Taylor unless I am like on my way to Jesus, right? What I would like to look like is that was a table, that was not a fart. You remember Gail Devers?
No, never heard of her.
She was an Olympic winning hurdler from the 80s and 90s. And African American woman. She had super long nails, almost like Coco from SWV. And FloJo used to have her nails like that too. Gail Devers. Why do I keep calling her Gail's? Gail Devers. Gail Devers had the most amazing thighs. Look at her. Go to the actual when she's running.
Wow. Look at that quad.
Yeah. Her leg. Girl, if I had Gail Devers thighs, I would never wear pants. Yeah, she always wore nails like that.
Do you think those nails slowed her down?
No.
Those are curving over.
You've never seen Coco from SWV's nails? Google Coco from SWV. Yeah.
What's the song that I like from them?
Rain?
No. The other one.
Weak is not them. If you say weak, that is not them. That is Escape. And I will kill you.
Wait, no, it's not.
Weak is definitely by
No, Weak is by SWV.
Oh yes it is. I'm sorry.
I hate you.
What did I say was by Escape?
Rain.
No, Rain is by SWV.
Oh, you were saying don't say
song?
Weak, it's by Escape.
Yeah.
Weak in the knees.
Understanding. That's what I'm trying to say. Understanding.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, that's Escape.
But her nails are like that too.
Yeah, Coco like I don't think she didn't necessarily start it because FloJo and Gail Devers used to wear their nails super super long. That's crazy. But Coco was like one of the first ones in the music industry to do that, and I'm talking about her nails were crazy long.
So you want a Gail Dever body?
I definitely not the body, the thighs.
The thighs,
because she still has a small torso.
A Beyonce thigh, like that is like a thick thigh that I would take.
I don't really think Beyonce's thighs are thick.
You don't think? Are you kidding?
No.
You don't think her post baby thighs were thick?
No, not compared to like Serena Williams or Gail Devers.
Oh no, I don't see Serena's too thick. I couldn't do it.
See, I could do Serena Williams. Her arms, her thighs, her butt, because I'm already there. I just need to slim the torso.
Here's my thing. I flail a lot, and I'm already falling all over the place. So I think if you gave me that body mass, it wouldn't be good for me.
Listen, I'm just telling. I would wear the tightest scrubs. I would have all kind of patients just like, hey, where's that physical therapist? Like, I'll be thought then bopping around the street.
Here's the fun thing about being in the hospital. You can thought and bop. And just flirt with everybody because they're gonna leave. B, they're probably fucking demented or have AMS.
On you anyway.
Yeah, they're already feeling on you.
Yeah.
You float into the room, you flirt with them, and you leave. It's honestly like it's like tender in real life.
Yeah, that's just like that girl who used that dead man's credit card to buy snacks.
Yo, we missed. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Here in this house, we don't do that.
No, let's go to the rehab corner.
Yeah.
To make me go to rehab, I said,
go, go, go.
Hey, yes, I've been bad, but when I come back, you'll
go, go, go. Get your ass in that corner.
Hey, welcome to the rehab corner, everybody.
What we're talking about in the rehab corner today is this situation that may end up affecting a lot more people than anticipated, especially when it comes to insurance. So United Healthcare, which is a well-known healthcare insurance that a lot of people in the United States have. They actually has just announced their new controversial policy. And this policy basically states that if you go to the emergency room, right, and based off the coding that the physicians use to bill your insurance for United, if it is not deemed an emergency, they will not pay for it and you will be responsible for that entire bill.
Here's the thing for me. Health literacy. How do you determine who knows what an actual health emergency is and what is not?
Exactly.
Because I would argue radiating chest pain is an emergency. Some people would not. Yeah. I would say that you get something stuck in your foot, it could or could not be an emergency, depending on how you can deal with it at home. How do you know that?
Having a boil in your ass from a thong that we had a patient that had that.
Abscesses and could potentially rupture.
And she was septic and got put on ECMO because she literally popped a boil in her ass.
At what point does that turn into an emergency?
Right.
Because I could have gone a week or two before and it's like, oh, you just have a boil in your ass. It's not an emergency. But if I had waited 3 days.
Right.
So no, I don't. What the fuck? How do you?
But here's my thing too. This is what I don't understand about insurance companies. You all are not medical professionals. Like maybe you have, I'm going to assume you have a board of physicians, right? Because insurances do hire other medical professionals to be, utilization reviewers, all kind of stuff to be able to spot the mistakes so that they don't have to pay, right? We understand that. But you as an insurance company should not be able to deem what is an emergency and what is not. Now, obviously, the people who continue to come to the ER every single damn day, those frequent flyers who are just coming in, oh, I got chest pain because they're bored at home and they're lonely, because a lot of veterans used to do that at the VA. But anyway,
that's the saddest shit ever.
No, fuck that shit. It's annoying. Stop fucking coming to the VA and hanging around. Go fucking get a life. No.
Okay.
No, it's annoying as shit because you get the same people who are just like, I need therapy. I can't fucking walk. You have a scooter, Mr. Johnson, and you can walk. You walked your ass in here, and then somebody brought you the scooter. It was annoying. Anyway, I digress. But I don't think insurance companies should be allowed to tell you what an emergency is. If I'm paying a premium every single month to maintain this, it is your job to pay for that.
It's for the coverage.
Thank you. You got the money anyway.
That would be like paying Netflix your monthly amount and then being like, you've streamed this show actually too many times.
Yeah, we're going to charge you extra.
We only in our little, what is it called?
Hub? I don't know.
Equation, or what are those called?
Equation.
Like Instagram has a
limit.
No. You say, oh, it's the algorithm.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah. When they're like, oh, our algorithm,
I have no clue what you're
our
talking
algorithm is based on you only streaming the same show 3 times and you streamed it 5. So now we're going to charge you a premium because you've streamed it more than that many times. That would sound ridiculous because you're like, I'm paying this fee to stream whatever I want.
Exactly. It's just like car insurances. Like, oh, well, you drive too many miles, we're going to do this. Or, well, I mean, I did get the look because I have Progressive and I did have the little, the drive safe thing where they tracked how many times you put on your brakes,
and you get a discount if you aren't driving like an asshole, right?
Exactly. And then they'll be like, oh, braking too hard, you making too many stops. And I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to get to work. I live 35 minutes away from my job. Come on now, goddamn. I live in Texas.
Cut me some slack.
These people cannot drive. But yeah, I had to turn that shit off. But I made it past my little trial thing, and they were like, yay, congratulations, you are the platinum plan or whatever the fuck. But anyway, yeah. I just think that's insane that an insurance company will charge you now, even if you're paying a premium. This is why we have health insurance, because we can't afford. Didn't I just say on the last podcast? Healthcare is a lose-lose.
Mm-hmm. You did say that. I was here.
It's a lose-lose.
My thing is, how many people have to die because they didn't want to go to the emergency room because they didn't know if what was happening was truly an emergency and they didn't have the money to pay for it because they're already paying an insurance premium.
Yeah, that's why even patients don't come to the hospital already. And when they come, it's a catastrophic incident. I
think that's what it is for me. I'm already upset because we're on a very specific side of healthcare, right?
Yes.
What's the side is like, I have no stake in this, right? Like you're already in the hospital and I have to see you, or you're not in the hospital, I don't know about you. Yeah. But like, I'm not trying to pull you in to get money. I'm not trying. I don't get anything from sending you or make sure you go.
I'm not paying for therapy.
Literally, I just show up to fucking work. You're either there and I work with you or I don't. So, but the thing is, we have so many patients that are like, this was going on for so long, but I didn't want to come to the hospital and and I was afraid. So I'm like, it's already a whole thing where people don't want to come to the fucking ER. Mm-hmm. Why are we going to make that even worse by this shit?
Yeah. Because they're trying to kill all people anyway.
Because how many times have you had to tell a patient, hey, if you feel weird, if something's going on, just come to the ER.
Yeah. And they tell you that all the time. If you feel like you're having an emergency, dial 911. Doctors' offices have that as a disclaimer.
How many times after a surgery or something, they send someone home and they're like, if you feel anything off, just come to the ER.
Even think about women. Pregnant women who come into the ER because they think that they're in labor and they're having Braxton Hicks. You won't know until they strap your ass to a monitor. First time moms, you're like, I feel it in my back. I feel it in my ass. Oh, Lord, the baby's coming.
Yeah, so you're telling me if I show up and I think something's happening with my baby, but you're saying, oh, no, it's not an emergency, just go home.
Right.
I now have to pay for that.
$20,000 for oops, no, it's just gas.
No one's going to go to the ER.
No, and you're going to have a lot of people. You're going to be paying a lot more insurance premiums.
Yeah.
Because you're killing people.
Because they're going to wait till the last minute, come, and it's going to be too far.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, I hate insurance companies.
Yeah, they're the worst. They are the absolute worst. So yeah.
Why?
United Healthcare. I hope that there are some other stipulations to that, or some other clauses that they have, or addendums to it, because that is insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, because even now, when I just got my MRI, and I'm actually going to get my results this week, and when I went for the appointment, first of all, I went to the orthopedist. All he did was just say, oh, okay, what are you here for? And I basically told him what my issue was, and he's like, okay, we're recording this. I promise you. Here's the thing I want to... Let's take a pause from the rehab corner. Here's what I want to tell people out there. I want to look right into this camera. If you are wanting to start a podcast, do not start a podcast with somebody who has ADHD, okay? Discriminate against them totally. Because you know why? They're going to fidget with everything. Even if they take their meds, they're going to fidget. They're just are. And I love Alyssa for who she is. Why are your eyes sitting red? Are you crying?
Crying. It's so hard to sit still.
It is. Did you take your meds today?
No, I did not, because I wanted to take a nap after work.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, you can finish.
But you were able to do your work today when we were at work. Anyway.
Yeah, because I was short attention.
Well, that's
and
true.
there wasn't a lot going on in the office.
Yeah, and you were actually only there for a half day, so that's good. So yeah. Anyway, but I lost my train of thought. Anyway, doesn't matter. The reality is that I just think that it is absolutely horrible for you to, again, I'm paying this premium already to have a service, and you're not doing your due diligence and holding up your end of our contract that we signed to pay for these particular services. And that's what I was talking about, my MRI. So when I went to the guy, he only just like, okay, what's going on? He did all my assessments while I was sitting down, and I was like, dude, you're an orthopedist. Come on now. Even though I'm a physical therapist and I stand my patients, what the fuck? And so he's like, yeah, let's go ahead and get you an MRI. I came back to the MRI and the lady was like, oh yeah, you have a balance. I was like, a balance for what? I paid my little $25 copay. She's like, yeah, you have a balance of $190. I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
Excuse me, say what?
Because it wasn't covered.
Excuse me, say what? If I have a copay, that means it's covered. What I'm paying $190 for you for? My gynecologist only costs $140 without insurance. I mean, I got insurance, but I'm just saying, like, this is ridiculous. So now I got to go back to you and pay another $25 for you. Just give me my goddamn result. I'll read this shit myself. I work in the hospital. I can get one of our orthopedic surgeons to read this shit for me, or one of our neurosurgeons. But I was just so pissed at him, like, what? So yeah.
That would be like, so I have a membership to my car washing place.
Oh yeah.
And that would be like me showing up and then being like, well, your car's actually not dirty enough for us to wash, so it's an extra $10 because we only wash it.
Because you're wasting our water.
Because you're wasting, yeah. Like, what the fuck does that make sense? I'm already paying.
And we're in the middle of a pandemic. Do you know how the amount of anxiety that happens on a day-to-day basis? Listen, as healthcare workers, I cannot tell you how many times a day I freak out that I have coronavirus because I feel like I can't breathe.
Literally.
All the time.
An hour and a half ago, I sprayed something in the air and I couldn't smell it. And I was like,
yeah.
And you looked at me and you were like, bitch.
I was like, get out. You can't smell. Get out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
And also, weren't they turning away everyone during the pandemic who showed up with COVID but could still kind of breathe?
Yes. They were
so you're telling me I cannot breathe. I'm testing positive for COVID. I'm going to the ER. They are turning me away. So it's not technically emergency.
Exactly.
Because they say if your oxygen drops below this, then come back.
Yeah.
So not to pay for that on my own.
But see, I wonder from this, if this is going to start a ripple effect for other insurance companies, but not only that, even for physicians to be able to, for them to get paid, because now if you're making the consumer responsible, these hospitals they already don't get paid as it is. But now you're going to make these hospitals be in more of a deeper hole where physicians may be forced to say, well, you know what? I do think that this is an emergency, even if it's gas.
Yeah, and then we're
going to start giving you unnecessary medicines.
We're going to be in surge again, and we're going to have to divert again because we're going to have all these holes in the ER because we just need to monitor them, but they need a bed.
Yeah,
so we can get their money, because if not, we're not going to get insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
So dumb, dude.
And then you're going to start practicing again corporate medicine and not regular medicine, which you should be doing.
I don't know why no one has hired us yet. We obviously have the answers.
That's what I'm saying. United Healthcare, just listen.
I
to
wish
this
I could
podcast.
run like
Blue Cross Blue Shield would never. Aetna would never.
My time under Blue Cross Blue Shield, that beautiful time. Ooh,
I loved it.
I honestly, first of all, being able to afford and keep a good health insurance is like a privilege.
Yeah, it really is.
And
it should be the standard, but
it should be the standard. I will never take it for granted. But holy shit, when I remember, I was getting my teeth cleaned all the time. I don't know what fucking dental insurance we had, but I was
dental insurance sucks anyway.
I was getting checkups all the time. My medicine was always paid for. I would go to I fucking had a little tickle in the throat, and I'd be like, let me just go to the doctor. Let me go see that man about it. Because what is that? $15? That's a Chipotle burrito.
Hey,
tell me it ain't.
It is.
Tell me it ain't.
Well, I mean, because I get my guac free, so I don't have to pay that extra.
That's honestly smart. I wonder if it's cheaper to get a veggie bowl and add meat, or if it's cheaper to get a meat bowl and add guac.
It's probably cheaper to get a veggie bowl and add meat.
I would think so too.
Because the price of avocados is going
up. Guac is $2.35.
Because the price of avocados.
I'll buy my own avocado and squish that shit up.
That's what I'm saying. Just bring it with you.
We're learning a lot today. Glad we did this.
Definitely. But yeah, so horrible for you. Shame on you, goddamn United Healthcare. Shame on you. Making people pay for their own goddamn healthcare. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, making people pay more for their own.
Yeah, you're already paying a premium, and I mean, so I wonder what because I didn't see in the clause about, like urgent cares. Because I feel like urgent cares are just as expensive as ERs.
Yeah,
so they're just
and then
mini ERs.
all they do is ship your ass off to a hospital.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Or even too, we've had so many patients. I mean, how many times a week do we have patients who are at one of our sister hospitals and then they end up transferring them?
There. You might as well just come down to ours.
Exactly.
I feel like that's cheaper. It has to be cheaper.
What?
To get admitted at our hospital and then just moved up from the ER.
Yeah, because then you have to pay a
come
transfer fee.
Shit, Jesus Christ.
If you don't stop trying to yoke your head off your neck.
Do they charge you the ambulance ride? They charge you for that, right?
Oh, you think that's free?
That is such trash.
That ain't free. Anything you get in the hospital, except for the hospital eggs and potatoes, is not free.
And you're probably still paying for that.
Well, we're part of the room rate.
So I feel like, honestly, it's the least we could do to bring fucking singing and dancing jokes into these people's rooms because they're paying out the ass for it.
Yeah.
Especially everyone who chills for a heart transplant who comes in and has to wait.
Yeah. They're waiting for days. Weeks at a time. Even they can be waiting up to a month to get a transplant.
Like the surgery itself, I can't imagine how much it costs. But the fact that you're sitting in an ICU every single day.
Every day. That's probably like a $10,000 per night situation.
It's insane. I would love to one day... You know how the Super Bowl commercials, they'll do like a little clicker timer thing at the bottom and it tells you how much money?
Yeah.
I want that for the hospital so I can see how much these patients are spending.
I'm quite sure they're spending a shit ton of money.
They are. That's so shitty and it's for your life. So what wouldn't you do?
Yeah. See, but the thing is, remember I told this story about how this woman got an $80,000 bill while her husband was dying on ECMO. Because he took a medical airplane to come from Corpus Christi to San Antonio.
The even shittier thing is like...
And he didn't even leave the hospital with his life.
When you're telling... To me, I would be like... How do you not sit down with someone and say, what we're going to do is going to cost upwards of, $300,000.
Do you want to live?
Is that something you're interested in? Because... Immediately, my immediate thought is, of course, my life is more than $300,000. But also, I don't have $300,000.
No one does.
So it's one of those things where you're like, yes, my life is worth anything you want to pay. But then I think about it, I'm like, I'm not fucking trying to pay that.
Here's the thing. We can say a life is priceless. No, the hell it's not. And United Healthcare just told you that it's not.
United Healthcare just said, I don't care if you feel like you're dying, unless it's a medical necessity, a medically deemed emergency, you're fine and pay me.
Fuck your life.
Yo, that's
Fuck your
insane.
life, bitch. That's horrible.
Get new insurance, everybody. It's time to switch.
Yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield would never. Aetna would never.
I don't even think WellMed would.
No, WellMed is just like, hey, we're trying to find here's what we're going to do. You're going to get the low price of LTech. That's where you're going.
Humana would be like, listen, we're going to let you go into the hospital and you're going to leave right home.
I feel like WellMed and Humana are like Walmart.
Yeah.
And like Blue Cross Blue Shield is definitely fucking Target.
Yes.
Definitely Target.
Yep.
Yeah. United Healthcare at one point was like Costco and then they downgraded to Sam's.
Oof.
Yeah.
Double homicide.
Definitely. Aetna is like, they can be either or.
Yeah, depending on what you got.
They're like Aldi's.
And that's your insurance update from the Face Off podcast. Thanks for tuning in this week, everybody.
Thank you. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, so anyway.
Oh, y'all go out there. Have a great week.
Yes, definitely.
Spread some love and light.
Absolutely.
Do something nice for yourself and maybe for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well, y'all have a great week. We will see y'all
Pray for me.
next
I'm
week.
in COVID this week.
Oh, yeah.
My back gonna break in half.
Don't let it break in half. Just do what you can.
Shake me, baby, but just don't break me.
Do what you can what you do, and fuck the rest.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. Or week.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler every Tuesday when new episodes are released.